Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Bonkekook here, aka the Lonely Achievement God, continuing our 1000G Achievement Guide / walkthrough for Lawn Mowing Simulator. We're on Expert Challenge number 6, which, in my professional opinion, is far and away the most frustrating expert challenge. If you can complete this challenge, you can complete every other challenge. The reason being, number one, in the bottom left there, you can see our maximum fines are only 5 currency. And we're using a mower that doesn't have good control. Hitting anything will essentially end your run. The good news is this does not have a 99.9% cut requirement. You need a 99.5% cut. Doesn't seem like a lot of difference. It is. It allows you to be much more careful around the objects you have to avoid hitting. Which is just about everything. Your first probably 15 minutes of this run are going to be very cautious, just going around all of the edges, trying to make sure you cut up against things without hitting them. The bandstand and there's a little picnic area that are the most difficult. Everything else is just kind of a matter of speed. But you do have to get used to the mower too, and the mower can be very frustrating. It does not control well, and backing up and turning are a little more complicated than most of the other mowers we've been using lately. So that's all I'm going to say for the preview here. We're going to jump in and see if we can't get this done. This challenge probably took me about 20 attempts, if not more than that. So, this is the one challenge. This is the challenge of all challenges, in my opinion. Some of the other ones are difficult, but are manageable. Like challenge number 5 that we just completed. This one is frustrating. We're going to go see if we can't take care of the 2 really frustrating parts right off the bat. And not to say that that will make your journey a lot easier, but tap, accelerate, get as close as you can. The good news with this mower is you can actually turn to the left and to the right a little bit to wiggle around and get some of that excess grass. But you have to avoid hitting any of these things. Hitting the park bench can be enough to almost end your run. So you got to get good at tapping the accelerator. And don't try to be too fine. It is okay if you leave little bits and pieces of grass around the outside. It is fine. And again, we're not going to worry about getting too close to the park bench. We're going to attack the park bench just like we did the other side. And again, we're not going to get too close. I know it seems like you're leaving a lot of grass around, but trust me, it is worth the trade-off. Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to cut now over to the bandstand here, and we're going to go in from each side. And that's all we're going to do. Just get up real quick on each side here. And again, don't worry about being too fine. Just slowly tap the accelerator around each corner. And then go a little bit further in. And then back up. You can also switch into the overhead camera to give you a better idea of where your entire mower is so that you're not close to hitting the bandstand. I know this is very slow and tedious, but believe me, one mistake hitting this bandstand once will take off almost all of your forgiveness. So, you need to be very, very cautious around these items that I'm having us do first. Because any of these items can end your run instantly. That's why we're tackling them right off the bat. We're not going to go too deep so we don't hit the bandstand, and those are the two really frustrating parts. We still have all these picnic benches. Those can be tricky as well, but you have a little bit more room for error here. And again, try not to get too close. And feel free to switch to the overhead again in these tight locations and tight corridors, and don't try to be too fine. You can cut all the way through and come back if you need to. But the key is to tap the accelerator, get used to how fast you're cutting. We have plenty of fuel. I know it's a fuel challenge, so the game makes you think that you're gonna run out. You're not. You have plenty of fuel. And the same goes with the trees. Don't worry about getting too close. Just get close enough. We're just gonna make our way in front of these picnic benches. Picnic tables, excuse me. Again, we're not going to try to be too fine. We're going to leave that spot back behind us because we can't really tell where the bushes end. So we don't want to get too close and wind up hitting something over there. And we're just going to drive back behind here. Again, feel free to change your camera as much as you need to. We were dumb there, and we hit the wall. The walls don't hurt you that much. They are bad, but I mean, you can just back up and see what kind of damage we took from that. But we're now going to focus on edging this area, and these protrusions are what are going to get you. Just be cautious going along. We do have a wall on the other side that we have yet to cut, so we still have quite a bit. We actually still have quite a bit to edge to avoid cutting, so don't get too cocky, but we are getting to the end of this section over here. Once you hit the corner, just try to do as we have been. Just tap the accelerator and keep your mower away from the hedge. Okay, that's finished. We have just about everything edged over here now. We're going to get this tree and we're going to go back and finish these picnic tables. Again, just try to switch between your camera modes. It is very important that you know where the tail end of your mower is. And if you aren't comfortable, you know, switch into that overhead mode. Okay, so that's just about everything edged over this direction. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head and we're going to edge the other areas. The reason being that hitting anything is enough to end your run. So you want to try to edge everything before and get all of the dangerous stuff taken care of before you move on to the bulk mowing of stuff in the middle. So that's what we're going to do here. We got another wall to edge over here. So just go slowly. It doesn't matter. You don't have to get too close. You have quite a bit of leeway. Just don't hit the accelerator for too long. Tapping is the best option here. Okay, we got that taken care of. We're gonna just run up here. We're gonna get this statue edged as best we can. Once again, do not be afraid of switching your cameras back and forth. Don't try to get too close. Again, that taken care of. We'll drive over here. Get that cut. For the trees, you're honestly best just to come at them straight up along their edges. We're gonna run over here and take care of this flower garden now. Just like everything else, be very cautious. The game does let you know when your mower is starting to push against the flowers, so. The good news is the flowers, you have about the same level of leeway with the flowers as you did in the last contract, so you can probably hit 3 or 4 if you don't touch anything else and still be okay. And we do have one more flower bed over here that we're going to take care of. Now, halfway through on this side is a statue, and you need to avoid the statue. The statue will instant fail you if you hit it. So take it very, very slowly and stay away from the statue up here. We're not even going to bother getting close to it. That statue is a pain in the butt to avoid. You hit a flower, okay. It sucks, but you can recover from hitting a flower. The statue will end your run. Same thing with the hedges and stuff like that. Like, hitting the hedges is bad, but hitting the bandstand is basically going to end your run. So just keep driving around, tapping the accelerator, making sure that you're just pushing the flowers and not, destroying them. Be careful right here because it is a little bit of a hill. Very light taps on the accelerator down here. Because you're on a hill, if you hit the accelerator too fast, you'll just go flying down and you might take out a couple of flowers like we did there. We started to go down, but luckily we went to the left. Okay, and that is everything edged over here, so we're just going to make another pass around the outside. As you can see, we have plenty of fuel left. And all we really have is the other side of that statue over there and these trees. So we're just going to drive forward here. We're going to get right up here and we're going to just cut right there. That should be good enough. And we're going to cut right up against this hedge. We got this hedge over here. The other side of it. And other than a couple of trees, that is all of the edging done. That is the hardest part. If you can do the edging, then you are in excellent shape. We're just going to go right up to here. Again, hitting the hedges doesn't damage your vehicle too much, but you want to save that edge there for the end in case you still need to mow some more percentage points. Went around that tree there. Need to do it again. And we're gonna cut like here. And you do have the pro view, so you can sit there and see where you still have some grass left. Obviously, at this point, we still have quite a bit, but I think that's it. I think that is all the trees. I think that's all the areas. Nope, we have to cut that, but we'll come back. We're gonna go make a lap around this. Just be careful when you get around. Again, park benches hit you pretty hard. This works so much better in some areas looking overhead, and it works so much better in some areas in first person. You're probably going to see a lot of grass left behind, and that is okay. Trust me, it is better than the alternative, which was to hit the bandstand and keep failing over and over again. 99.5% of the grass on this level gives you a lot of wiggle room, so don't keep using that pro view and thinking, oh no, I've left too much. Worry about that when you get to the end. We've left a couple of spots more accessible if we do need to, but we should be relatively fine. You can actually kind of indicate how well you've done if you watch along the wall here on the right and how well you've cut the grass along the walls, because that will be a good indication of if you're going to have to spend more time at the end cutting closer. Because again, it doesn't seem like that 99.5 leaves you a lot of room for error, but it does. Just continue being careful, though, when you're driving around. You don't want to turn too sharply. You can still damage the ground and get penalized for that. And you can still overload your engine and lose the level because of that. But you have plenty of fuel. Again, when you're in these tight spaces, pull out the overhead cam to make sure that you are not going to back up into a wall or into the bandstand. Bandstand is significantly worse. That will end your run almost immediately. Before you clear areas, make sure you're using the Pro View. Don't necessarily need to use it for walls and against the bandstand and stuff like that, but you can use it for these larger areas just to make sure that you didn't miss any small pieces. Like that little tiny one there. That could make a difference later on. You never know. You have plenty of fuel though, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna get this last little patch inside. Except we're not. Now we gotta make another lap. And watch out for the picnic table, or picnic bench. Park bench, I guess, would be the best way to... Park bench there. But don't worry about getting close to them. We're gonna cut this last little portion here. That should be it. Now it's just a matter of driving in circles for a little bit. And the gas thing's gonna flash at you, don't worry about it. It's just being a jerk. And now your only goal is to be very cautious about overloading your engine. As long as you don't overload your engine trying to cut these areas, you should have plenty of fuel remaining in order to do so. And again, when you're running around the right side here, you can give yourself a pretty good idea of how well you did on the edging, and that will indicate how much extra time you may have to spend at the end cleaning up. Sorry, this is easily the most intense challenge, so I'm just kind of staying quiet to preserve my intensity. You don't want to make a simple mistake at this point, you know? Just accelerating too quickly into a flower garden could undo all of that hard work you've put in, so... Only 10% left, folks. We are almost done. Moment of truth is almost here. Did we edge enough to be able to finish without having to go back? Or do we have to return to some of these statues? There you are, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most difficult challenge in the game, so if you were able to complete it, I salute you. And as always, if you have any questions or comments for me, let me know down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them to the best of my ability. But if you don't, ladies and gents, I will see you guys in Expert Challenge number 7.